Hey, ladies. Welcome to Black Women Making Money. I hope you are doing well this evening. Please give us a thumbs up as you are coming into the building. If you're listening to the replay, thumbs up, please. Also, put replay into the chat so that way, or sorry, put replay into the comments so that way the YouTube algorithms can know we are providing you with the content that you want to hear if you're listening to the replay. Also, ladies, if you're not on my email list, you should be. We have all sorts of things we are doing behind the scenes, including this Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We are having a level up using LinkedIn masterclass. Doesn't cost you anything to participate. The only thing I will ask for is if you get something out of Sunday, that you send me a little cash app for some coffee or something like that. Obviously, if you don't have the money, I never ever want to charge for this type of information. I'd rather you level up. But it's no charge to come in on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to take about an hour and 15 minutes, if that. If you all have a lot of questions, we're going to talk about a simple way, 3-step process for you to level up using LinkedIn. So, first of all, Unknown is in here saying hello. We've got Selfish Love in the building. And Miss Franny Pants saying you're finally catching a live. Well, I'm glad that you are here this evening to talk with us. So, again, bwmakingmoney.com if you want to get on the email list. And we're just going to jump right into tonight's conversation. So, I was looking through my YouTube algorithms and Yvette Carnell popped up. I will admit I haven't listened to Yvette in years. I listened to her quite intently for a couple of years. Now, remember, it was during the 2016 election when Donald Trump won, because during the primaries was when the ADOS conference happened. The very first one happened in Kentucky. And if you're familiar with Yvette Carnell, I should kind of step back. If you're familiar with Yvette Carnell, great. If you're not, Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks are two people on YouTube, and I believe it was Yvette herself who came up with the phrase ADOS, which stands for American Descendants of Slaves. If it wasn't her, it was her and Tone together. And they very much push reparations. I have a huge amount of respect for Yvette and Tone for one primary reason, and that is because they are the voice of the poor, especially the Black American descendants of slave poor. So I will never, ever talk negatively about Yvette. I don't agree with her solutions. However, I respect the work that she has done. I respect the political education that she gives to people. And I do think that her movement of ADOS was, what do you call it, taken over by other people, etc. But anyway, I was listening to her a couple of years ago, listened intently, understood at the time what they were trying to achieve. And a couple of days ago on my feed, Yvette came up. And I haven't listened to her in years, but her session was about the fact that they will inherit wealth and will inherit funeral costs. And I have to admit, I did not listen to the broadcast, but I immediately had something to say with regards to this, because I've been wanting to do a session about the great wealth transfer and the fact that we can be positioned to take advantage of the great wealth transfer that is about to happen in this country. We had a session a couple of days ago about the immigrants and the migrants and the fact that they are coming, and they are coming to capture resources. They are coming to live the American dream. They are not coming to play. They are coming to compete. And we have an option, women, Black women. We have an option to either stand still and complain and beg for reparations, and I am very pro reparations. However, I said I think it's 5% chance we're going to get reparations, 100% chance we can get resources. We either have the option to sit back or we have an option to capture some of the great wealth transfer that's about to come. Because if you think the Hispanics are going to sit back and let this wealth transfer come and they not participate in it, you're sorely mistaken. If you think the Chinese community is going to sit back and not participate in the great wealth transfer that's about to come, I'm not talking about them just receiving wealth from their families. I'm talking about them capturing wealth from other families. We're going to talk about that tonight. If you think the Japanese and the people from the Philippines and other places, the Nigerians even, are not here to capture some of the wealth that's about to be transferred, you're incorrect. So tonight's conversation, I want to talk about the great wealth transfer. I want to talk about how things are going to be transferred, how much is going to be transferred, how much is going to be transferred per family, approximately, and how you can capture your share of the American dream. Again, as you all are coming in, please like the video. If you're not on our email list, it's bwmakingmoney.com. We do sessions behind the scenes that are not on YouTube. We're doing a session on leveling up using LinkedIn. We're doing another session on Thursday about getting business grants. I'm going to do another session in June about $100 million offers, helping any of my ladies in business get your $100 million offers together, et cetera, et cetera. The only way you can get invitation is on bwmakingmoney.com, signing up for the email list. This will not be placed on YouTube. So with that, let's kind of jump in here and put a 1 in the chat if you are still with me. Put a 1 in the chat. Let me know you are still with me with regards to this topic here. And also give me an exclamation point if you are ready to capture some of this wealth that's about to happen. Give me an exclamation point if you are ready to capture some of the wealth. Because I think there are some of the women in my community that are going to become millionaires and multimillionaires because you are here today. You're going to listen to what we're saying. You're going to share it. This is going to stay up, ladies. I see the ones coming through. Thank you. Listen to this over and over again. I'm going to show you some resources. We're going to talk strategy with regards to how you can capture some of this wealth. I see my exclamation points coming through as well. I love it. Thank you so much, ladies. Okay, so this is the first article here talking about the great wealth transfer that's happening. I've heard anywhere from 59 trillion in this article. I've heard 68 trillion. I've heard 70 plus trillion dollars. There's a lot of money that's about to be passed down over the next 10 to 15, maximum 20 years, right? And it's going from baby boomers mostly to millennials. Baby boomers to millennials. Some of our Gen Xers will get our share as well. However, it's saying here by 2030, it's estimated that as much as $59 trillion will be passed from baby boomers, a phenomenon industry experts have coined the great wealth transfer. So, ladies, the first thing I want to tell you is it's 2023 now. This article is recent. They're saying in the next 7 years, $59 trillion is about to transfer. Ladies, put in the chat, I'm ready now. I'm ready now. I want you to put that in the chat. I want that to be your affirmation. I'm ready now, because what we're going to talk about today is how to get ready for this $59 trillion transfer that, yes, will majority go to white and Asian people. However, we can get our share. You all are saying it. I'm ready now. Yes, because you got to be ready for this wealth transfer that's about to happen. Hey, Rose. To just say, and again, I very much respect Yvette and Tone and the work that they do, but to say they're getting wealth, we're getting funeral costs, we're a wealthless group, we can't do anything about it. If we don't get reparations, we can't do anything about it. I don't know if that's Yvette's current message, but that was her message when I was listening to her previously. That is not a very good strategy for us to have. So, this article is saying here, and while the transfer will take place in different forms across different generations, where is most of the wealth going to end up? So, they're talking here who's going to benefit from most of the wealth transfer. When boomers pass away, they'll be leaving more than just bank accounts to their widows and heirs. This is what I want you all to read, ladies. They will be leaving businesses, portfolios, and real estate. I want you to put in the chat businesses, portfolios, real estate. I want you to get this because it's not just going to be bank accounts with cash or IRAs. They're going to be leaving portfolios of stocks and bonds. They're going to be leaving houses and land. They're going to be leaving profitable businesses. I want you all to put businesses, portfolios, and real estate into the chat. Because, thank you, Unknown, because when we are thinking about the great wealth transfer, it's level one, it's low vibrational to think, well, they're getting wealth and we aren't. And this great wealth transfer is happening and we can't get any of it. And oh, well, it's just going to happen. Thank you, Rose. Businesses, portfolios, and real estate. I want you to capture 1, 2, or even 3 of these wealth assets. I want you to capture as many of them as you want. There are going to be boomers who pass and leave profitable businesses. For example, Selfish Love is here. There are going to be boomers who leave profitable CPA businesses that their children don't want, that their children are going to be willing to sell to you. I don't see Wooden Core here, but Wooden Core is in real estate. There are going to be boomers leaving real estate. In fact, I got a call a couple of days ago from somebody. Grandmother left real estate. They don't want it. They want to cash out. They're going to be leaving stocks and bonds, other types of assets. And we have an opportunity to capture. Yes, Selfish Love, you're saying I'm ready to buy. Good. Be ready to sell. Again, by 2030, they're expecting $59 trillion to transfer by 2030. I'm going to talk to you tonight about how to get ready for this. Okay. For me, I'm getting ready on the real estate end and the business end. For you, you might be thinking, hey, I want to take advantage of this when it comes to the stock portfolios, etc. All right, it's saying here, this wealth will fall to Generation X and Millennials, 2 generations that have very different spending, saving, and lifestyle habits. So they're saying here, Generation Xers have a financial mindset that differs from their parents. This generation, Generation X, is conservative with its funds, but believes in investing in the stock market and planning for what's down the road. So, in other words, a Generation X person that gets a business that's profitable may sell it in order to put the money into the stock market, right? They're saying here, compared with millennials, it's likely that Gen X would save more of its inherited funds than use them. Millennials, on the other hand, are shaped by their experiences. As a generation that came of age during the Great Recession, Vitelli says their money habits differ because of it. Quote, they don't spend at the same rates and on the same types of things as their parents. They're much more experiential rather than purchasing things for status. They are also savers in terms of putting money in the bank, and they're not as trusting of the stock market. Why am I mentioning this paragraph? Because when a millennial um, gets, let's say, property, right now there are some millennials who are getting married and wanting to buy their first homes, but they may not want to buy. They may want to sell their grandmother's home in Kentucky in order to purchase a house in, I don't know, um, St. Augustine, Florida, for example, right? So you may have unlike Gen X probably owns their home already. A millennial may choose to sell their grandmother's real estate in one um, city in order to buy real estate in another city. They aren't trusting of the stock market. I'm going to show you that a lot of people blow their inheritances as well. Hey, Computer and Coin, happy Friday. You're saying here 22 women in the chat and Cherie, so let's get these houses and businesses and stocks. Yes. Yes, lady. Hey, Coco Tigress. Okay, here's the interesting thing. Wealth transfer with women. The great wealth transfer is going to be a monumental occurrence, not because of the wealth itself, but because women who typically outlive men will be inheriting the most of it, the majority of it, I should say. We're going to see this huge shift where women become the decision makers, and it's really going to change things. Ladies, it's time to join the garden club. Ladies, it's time to join, the etiquette classes and things like that. Um, Wherever women who are upper middle class are, these are going to be great places for us, not because we want to take advantage of the women that we become friends with, but because if we let them know, hey, I'm a CPA, as Selfish Love is saying, I'm a CPA and I want to expand my business. You never know. That woman you're talking to, her husband may be a CPA that, you know, that grew his business, and she may be willing to sell it to you. I always tell you the four things you need to have. You need to have technical skills, soft skills, networks of multicultural people, and resources. If you have those four things, you can take advantage and grab part of the wealth transfer that's about to happen. So that's this article here. The next thing, New York Times. They had something here saying the boomers who benefited from decades of growth in real estate and financial assets were, in general, already rich, white, or both. Black and Hispanic or Latin households have higher than average poverty rates and far um, below average household wealth. So, in other words, yes, we know that white people are going to get the majority of wealth, right? That doesn't mean that we cannot capture an unfair share of the wealth, at least for upwardly mobile Black women. And that's what I want you to think about. So, the New York Times also showed this as well. They showed where the wealth is right now. So, the greatest wealth transfer in history, you have baby boomers with, let's see if I can make this bigger for you ladies. 78.3 trillion in assets. Gen X has 47.8 trillion. The silent generation is still kicking, y'all, with 18.1 trillion. That's going to move any day now. And the millennials are at 14.2 trillion. So you're going to have a lot of money going from baby boomers to millennials, right? Okay. Excuse me. All right. So then you want to think about, okay, they have wealth, right? The boomers have wealth. typically white, rich, upper middle class, etc., they're going to be passing their wealth down. CNBC had this article here saying boomers have more wealth than any other generation, but millennials may not inherit as much as they hope. So we want to do like a well-rounded discussion with regards to this, which is why I wanted to show you this article. It's saying studies show a disconnect between how much millennials expect to inherit and how much aging baby boomers plan on leaving them. Growing financial insecurity and changing views about inheritance are partly responsible. I only see this change in inheritance with regards to super wealthy people. We'll see. Communicating a clear plan and the reasoning behind it can help families get on the same page. So, I will say this now, if you are in line for an inheritance, please start talking with your elderly now. I know our Black elderly does not like to talk about death. They don't want to get their wills together, they don't want to get their trust together. I had a very unfortunate call from a woman that I've known for years. Her grandmother died, left her a home in New York. And unfortunately, one of the family members put a reverse mortgage on the house. She can't find the paperwork on the reverse mortgage. She's trying to save her house that her grandfather helped the family buy. And because she did not have a clear plan before grandma died, she might end up losing her family's inherited property. Do not let this happen to you. Number one is making sure your house is taken care of. Talk to an estate planning attorney. You're just going to have to break through, get life insurance for your elderly if possible. If anybody in here, we got 33 people watching now. If anybody in here is in life insurance, you can promote yourself right now in here. If you're a financial planner, anything like that. But we've got to, first of all, get our own families together, our own houses together, and then start capturing other people's wealth. So you're saying here, and please get life insurance on your parents. I have an outside policy from my parents' policy. Yes, absolutely get life insurance on your parents and anybody that you expect to bury. Anybody you expect to bury, you want to have that. Okay, so how much is the average inheritance going to be? This is from March 2022. It is saying here that the average inheritance by education level, $76,200 for people without a college degree, $92,700 for those with a college education. This is the Federal Reserve reports, okay, on the average inheritance based on whether or not the household has a college degree. So if the household has a college degree, with the college degree, 92,000, without a college degree, 76,000. Average inheritance and trusts. These are people who are financially savvier, if not wealthy. For trust, the median wealth transfer is $285,000. The average was $4 million. Average inheritance by age of death. The average retired adult who dies in their 60s leaves behind $300,000. 296. By their 70s, they're at 313,000. Their 80s, they're at 315,000, and their 90s, they're at 283,000. Part of the reason why I think that this is like a paid off house and a little bit of cash. I know when my grandmother was elderly, we had to use her savings and things like that before Medicaid would kick in. So, these numbers don't surprise me, but people, adults are leaving 300,000 on average, and they may be leaving it to 2 to 3 different heirs. That seems to be what we're seeing, right? The average inheritance by wealth. While it appears that the average inheritance is between $100,000 and $1 million, these numbers can be incredibly misleading. Because the very rich have so much more than the middle and lower classes, the average inheritance numbers are incredibly lopsided. So the least wealthy group of families received about $6,100, and the wealthiest 1% receive about 2.7 million. Okay? So I wanted to show that to you, and then want to show you this here. 1 in 3 Americans, I know this is an older article, this is from 2015, but these numbers probably still stand. 1 in 3 Americans who get an inheritance blow it. 1 in 3, 33% of people who are getting this money, this $59 trillion over the next 7 years, because they said by 2030, $58 trillion is going to change hands, and 33% of people are going to blow it. Why would I bring that up? I'm bringing it up because they're going to sell the assets that they have in order to do whatever with it. They're going to sell their businesses. They're going to sell their stock portfolios. They're going to sell their real estate. You have an opportunity to not take advantage of that, but to obtain some of the wealth that is going to be coming. You're saying here, my parents already have a life insurance policy that they pay for. Are you suggesting I may need to buy another policy for them? Oh, so you two are talking. Yeah, sometimes people do, right? Also, they wanted to sell their home and split the proceeds, but I'm going to ask them, can I buy it? Yeah, you should. In fact, some of the elderly people that you know that do not have children, and they may not have any kind of nieces or nephews or heirs, you may want to ask them if you can buy their property from their estate. You may be able to set up paperwork before they die to be able to buy that property from them. This is when we start thinking strategically, ladies. You're saying here they can blow it on our goods and services if we sell luxury experiences too. Absolutely. You are 1,000% correct. You could have a very good 7-year run, probably 10 years, because they'll inherit the $59 billion. They'll inherit over the next 7 years. You could have a very good 10-year run. You are absolutely right, Unknown. Okay. So I wanted to make sure that I have all of my thoughts here. Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that you may say is, Cherie, I don't have any money. I don't have any resources. I don't have any way of being able to participate in the great wealth transfer. I'm here to tell you that America is the land of resources. We had our conversation a couple of days ago where I told you the immigrants know where the resources are. If you talk to them, you could figure out what they are too, right? So let's say you find somebody who has property, but you don't have any money. You don't have money for the down payment, etc. Or you just want to buy a house now. I'm going to show you some resources for buying businesses and buying houses, right? This is NACA, NACA.com. This is NACA. NACA specifically is a program where you you do some sort of homeowner counseling, and you get a free down payment to buy a home. You can look on YouTube for people who have successfully completed the NACA program. Everyone that I've heard, and I've watched several people's journeys of how they did the NACA program, they're averaging about 9 months for going through the NACA program. However, at the end of the day, if you don't wait until the last minute, if you give yourself 9 to 12 months to go through this program, and yes, because it is a program, you're going to have to do certain things, there are going to be ups and downs with it, etc. You can get into a home with your down payment taken care of. These are the types of resources that we should be tapping into. I appreciate the work that Yvette and Tone are doing. What I want to add to what they're saying, though, and this is why I disagree with them, is I wish we had more topics and discussions about the resources that are out here to help you build wealth. Because the three things that you can put into your portfolio to build wealth is real estate, stocks, and any kind of financial instruments, and cash flowing businesses. So that's our topic for this evening, is how are we going to capture this wealth? So you're saying here, okay, makes sense. I love the strategic thinking. Yes, absolutely. Yes, Cherie, I'm trying to work a deal with my old neighbors on their home. Good. Stay at it. Absolutely. Mrs. Phoenix in the house. Hello. This is great information. I wish I would have known about this before I bought my home. Yeah, NACA's great. Shared with a friend or two. I just signed up last week for NACA. Yay, Dawn to Earth. Yes, yes, love it. So definitely let us know your journey with NACA. Just be prepared. Be prepared for the 9 months. The next thing I want to show you is something called the Community Reinvestment Act. So this was an act that was started in 1977. It went away and then it came back during the Obama years with the banking collapse. And what this CRA is, it's a program where banks have to loan to low income and moderate income families. But the CRA is interesting because they have down payment assistance programs. Now, you have to go to the specific bank in order to get their loan. So, for example, you heard about the Bank of America was giving away deposits. I think it was $10,000 deposits or something. Sorry, $10,000 down payments or something like that in Miami and a couple of other cities. Most likely that was through the Community Reinvestment Act. Every bank, every bank, every bank has a division of CRA that works within the community. If you walk into the bank and you ask the average banker sitting behind the desk or the teller, they don't know what you're talking about. You have to talk to the mortgage bankers and ask them about it. And they just keep asking, they will direct you to the right person. Every bank has this. Yay! I got a super chat. Thank you, Selfish Love. Thank you so much. Your methods have a higher success chance, even if it involves more effort than waiting for reparations. I agree. I agree. So CRA, if you're buying in, if you are lower income or moderate income, definitely check out CRA. All right. The next thing is HUD. HUD, if you go to hud.gov/states, most states, I would say every state, has some sort of down payment assistance program. Sometimes the programs are grants, sometimes the programs are loans, but who cares, right? We just want to get into a home. Obviously, we want to be smart about it, but some of these loans are even forgivable loans if you stay in the house for a certain number of years and you make your payments on time, etc. A lot of these are for first-time home buyers. So I'm going to go to Virginia here. And you were able to see home buying programs under local resources. And you were able to see the different home buyer down payment assistance programs. So there's the Virginia Department of Housing and Community Development. This is for first-time home buyer down payment and closing cost assistance programs. Virginia Housing has affordable home ownership programs. Community contacts. Find out if your community offers home repair assistance. Habitat for Humanity. A lot of us know what this is. U.S. Department of Agriculture Rural Housing. This is our USDA home buyer programs in rural communities. And then you can go, for example, Hampton Roads is a part of Southern Virginia. They have their own programs down there. Southwest Virginia, Eastern Shore, Shenandoah, Northern Virginia, where it's expensive as all get out. You can go to the different counties like Arlington, Falls Church, etc. Why am I showing you this? I'm showing you this because you can come to HUD.gov/states and find down payment assistance programs. You can also work with a mortgage broker in your community. You want to find one that works, especially with first-time homebuyers, that knows every program that's out there. But a lot of the information they get from sites like this, or from other continuing education classes that they're taking. So definitely, ladies, use these resources. Use these resources in order to capture some of that $60 trillion wealth transfer that's coming by 2030. Hey, NC worker, good to see you. Okay, I got something else for you here. So let's shift over to buying businesses. Instead of starting businesses, you can actually buy businesses. And there's a woman named Cody Sanchez on YouTube. She, of course, makes it sound so simple. We all know that there are things that you need to know in order to run a business. But the great thing about buying a business is that banks and the SBA are 80% likely to fund your loan for buying a business versus starting a business. So again, for someone like Selfish Love, if she's starting her own CPA firm, it may be better for her to go out, buy a firm, buy those accounts, grow it from there, right? Okay, so this is from my email here. I get this thing called Trends on a daily basis, and they talk about the fact that an estimated 10,000 boomers hit retirement age every day. Retired percentage of the US population, you see it after COVID going up. There's been an increase in the number of people who are retiring. And what they say down here, further down here, many don't have anyone to pass the family business on to, and those businesses will close their doors. I assure you, ladies, the Latinos are prepared to buy these businesses and continue to run them. I'm going to show you the resources to buy the businesses. I assure you, the Asians are ready to buy the businesses. The United States government, the Small Business Administration, recognizes that this is about to be a problem with all of these family small businesses closing. They have done something. I'm going to show it to you tonight in order to start sweetening the pot for us as younger Gen X and millennials, and even my Gen Zers, to start buying these businesses. This is a great way for you to get into business, and it may not even be a full-time business. You may do it part-time as well. So, according to Business DIT, which is data and research, baby boomers are responsible for running an estimated 12 million small businesses in the United States. Unfortunately, many of these baby boomers have reached their retirement age and have to make the decision of what's next for their business. On average, 350,000 baby boomers sell their businesses every year. 350,000 of them, ladies. Some of these businesses, a lot of these businesses are profitable businesses. They already have staff that knows what they're doing. You may choose to work in there, you may not, but why not be prepared to capture some of this wealth that is about to come down? Dawn is saying, I love to own a Dunkin' Donuts near a college campus. Well, look, start scouting. Start scouting, number one. Number two, start developing a network of people who have money so that when you find the Dunkin' Donuts, you will be able to raise at least the down payment money, and then the rest of it you're able to finance. But you have to have the people. You have to have the people in place. And thank you, Computer and Coin. I see you sent me a Cash App. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Um, So, yeah, you want to have those two things in place. In fact, I always tell you have your four things in place: your technical skills, and technical skills for your Dunkin' Donuts Down to Earth. That's your entrepreneurial business operations skills, because entrepreneurship is a skill. So, your technical skills is around business operations, negotiations, things like that, because you're going to need to negotiate in order to acquire the Dunkin' Donuts, right? You need your technical skills, your soft skills, your multicultural networks. You're going to need some people around you with some money to put into the pot, and you're going to need resources as well. Coconut Water is saying, is there a reliable way to assess the true value of a business? I've heard of cases where retiring business owners have allowed their businesses to start deteriorating and stop doing maintenance. Um, so, the valuation of a business is part art, part science. There are some best practices. However, it really is going to depend on what you can negotiate, what they're willing to sell it for, what you're willing to buy it for. The people I've seen who have successfully bought businesses, they've had to negotiate with several business owners, because some business owners are Looney Tunes and they think you're going to buy a business for $17 trillion and it's not worth that much money, right? Um, Others will allow their businesses to start deteriorating and stop doing maintenance, and you don't really want those businesses either. That is a hard no. That stuff comes up during something called due diligence. Due diligence is when you start checking out the business, you check out their tax returns in order to see what their revenues are, what their expenses are. You may talk to some of the senior staff members there, etc. I would not suggest you buy a business that is deteriorating and where the owner has stopped doing maintenance. There are too many good businesses out there that are going to be sold. I hope that was helpful, Coconut Water. Any fast food alcohol business near a college campus would be a great business. Yep, absolutely. Okay, 350,000 businesses per year. There's probably going to be more coming by 2027, 2028, 2030, etc. Okay. Next, I told you that the SBA was sweetening the pot for us. So, the SBA has something called a 7A loan program, and they love it when you buy businesses. So traditionally, you would have to buy 100% of the business. You would have to buy the owner out, things like that. The SBA, I believe, sees what we see coming, which is there are a lot of baby boomers out there that have family businesses, which means they employ probably 5 to 10 people, and their heirs do not want these businesses. And you have to have a way for other people who do want these businesses to be able to financially be able to purchase these businesses. So there are changes coming underway. This is word on the street. The SBA has not put out an official press release. However, these are from people in the know. There's a guy I follow named David C. Barnett. who is on YouTube. He talks a lot. His whole channel is about buying small businesses. So he alerted me to this, and I'm alerting you to this, that the SBA is sweetening the pot with regards to they want you buying these businesses. So they have, I think, four things that they're doing. Number one, partial sale of businesses can now be done. Previously, the SBA required 100% buyouts. The seller will not need to guarantee the loan if their post sale ownership is less than 20%. This is a really great thing with regards to some people feel like they want the previous owner to have a little bit of skin in the game, or the seller can take back a 20% note, and they can be in second position and they can still have some equity as well in the business. Sometimes, as well, the seller may want a monthly cash payout because it's going to be a part of their retirement. This is a great way for you to set it up potentially. Obviously, talk to an attorney about this, but this is a great way for you to set something like this up where they get a lump of money, but they also get a monthly or quarterly dividend as well from the business. So that way they can have a little bit more money during retirement. So that's number one. Number two, sellers will now be able to stay involved with the business indefinitely as either an owner, officer, director, stockholder, or employee of the business. Previously, a seller could only stay involved for a max of 12 months. So if you have something highly specialized, or you still want that person on board, they would be running the day-to-day operations, but they don't necessarily need to own the business. Because maybe, let's say, you work a regular job, you don't want to quit your job, etc. The SBA is having more leniency with regards to how you can set this up, and they will still fund the purchase of the business. Number three, new terms for seller notes to be considered an quote equity injection, which qualifies as part of the required down payment. So less cash down is needed from the buyer. Again, the SBA sweetening the pot. They're telling you that you don't need as much money down in order to purchase these businesses. Number four, changes to affiliation rules for the buyers. Previously, if a buyer owned 20% or more of another business, the lender was required to get tax returns and financials for that second business as part of the loan underwriting. This has been changed so that this is only required if a buyer owns 50% or more of another business. Again, they are looking to sweeten the pot. I wouldn't be surprised if even more things are coming down the pipeline from the SBA with regards to things like this. They love it, love it, love it when you buy businesses versus starting them, etc. They want more people to buy businesses. Many of you know, I'm a business plan writer. I only take a couple of clients now. I don't do it full time anymore. But a year ago, probably, it's probably been a year now, I did a business plan for a gentleman who was buying an appliance, similar to like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, but they sold appliances. And yeah, he asked me to write the business plan. Actually, the banker asked me to write the business plan, and it was a $4 million sale. And this gentleman was an immigrant. See, I told y'all the immigrants know where the resources are. But yeah, they went in, they negotiated, they had a sales price. The banker needed a business plan to go with it because that's required for the SBA. She and I had a previous relationship. She contacted me. Hey, Cherie, I need you to write this up, and I did it, and loan closed. So yeah. Look at the revenues over the past 5 years. Are they increasing? Is the profit increasing? Look at age of their clients. Will the owner help transition the clients? Y'all may want to have Selfish Love help you as well if she's going to hang up her shingle. If she's going to hang up her shingle, because she will be able to recognize some of the red flags for you. I just followed David while watching. Thanks for sharing. And it is, yes, David C. Barnett. David C. Barnett. I like him a lot. He's, you can even go through his past stuff and just hear his advice with regards to buying. He's an expert on buying small businesses, which I really like. There's another guy that I will give you. His name is John Stoddard. Let me open up my YouTube here and pull it up. I think it's Jon. This guy here, John Stoddard here. Now, sometimes he'll talk to people who have done like bigger deals, right? But he also talks to people who have purchased, $10 million businesses, $5 million businesses, etc. A lot of what he talks about are people who buy like a lot of businesses. They buy portfolios of businesses. He had every once in a while he interviews somebody Black as well. I'm sure I won't see it on here, but there was a Black woman he interviewed a while ago. Her session was really good. If I can find it, I will post it for you ladies. But yeah, and he's got like a whole system for acquisitions as well. So this guy is named John Stoddard. I like him. I like him as well. John Stoddard. Thank you. Thank you. Look, I try to bring y'all the resources. I try to bring y'all the resources. Okay, the final thing. We already went through that. I shouldn't have kept that on there then. Okay. So, that is the topic for the evening. You're saying get the donations up, ladies, either tonight or if you all are coming on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to do our level up using LinkedIn. The Black woman who was interviewed on that John Stoddard channel, she used LinkedIn in order to find businesses to buy. If I can find her interview, it was really good. And she was really inspiring. If I can find her interview, I will post it in the community tab for everybody. But there is a great wealth transfer happening. We have about 7 years before close to $60 trillion is about to be transferred. Ladies, we can get our share. We can get our unfair share. No, we don't have a community of people, unfortunately, Black people that can come together all as one, all 40 million of us, and do this. We're going to have to work in little pods. But I believe that this channel can be part of your pod. It can be part of the place where you're able to come and find the networks and the people that you need in order to be successful. The first thing is having the mindset of this wealth transfer is coming. 1 in 3 people blow their inheritances. The other 2 out of 3 doesn't mean they're saving everything. They may still sell grandma's house because they want to take that money and buy someplace else. Unknown also said that we can also set up luxury experience businesses because these millennials are going to take some of that money and use it in order to get experiences, etc. This is a great opportunity. Yes, white people are going to inherit wealth, and we as Black people are going to inherit funeral costs. But that's not all that we're able to get. That's not all that we're able to get. We're able to capture some of the wealth as well. So if Cody Sanchez, and I didn't even show you all Cody Sanchez, but she's a white Hispanic woman. If Cody Sanchez is preparing by saying, all over her YouTube channel, I buy boring businesses. I buy boring brick and mortar businesses. If she's prepping, why not you? I think she's done 50 million in transactions or something like that. If she's prepping, why not you? If the migrants are prepping, why not you? The final thing I want to say here is don't end up like Gabrielle Union. I know. You're like, Cherie, are you gonna be gossipy? A little bit. A little bit. Don't end up like Gabby. Here's the thing. Gabrielle Union, in her interview with whatever news, podcast she was on, she mentioned the fact that if she didn't get up and go to work, people weren't going to eat. If she had a movie that didn't come out, people weren't going to eat. She couldn't stay in bed because people were depending on her. As you are building wealth, as you are participating in the great wealth transfer, no, I'm not going to gossip about the 50-50. I can do that on other channels. But as you are building your wealth, always think from a position of defense as well. Think from a position of, I don't want to end up in a position where I'm doing all of this stuff in order to get wealth just for family members and friends to leech off me. Because I wonder of the people that Gabrielle was talking about that said if she didn't get up, they wouldn't eat. How many of those people are able-bodied people? I could understand if it was a grandmother or a grandfather or a disabled sibling or something like that. But the stress that was on her face and in her body led me to believe that there's some able-bodied people that now are banking on her for their existence. You are in the process of getting wealthy. You are in the process of buying your homes. Don't let no man move in your home. Don't let him get mail. He is not to leave his socks. Nothing. Right? We've had this conversation. You are going to start getting access to more resources, access to better networks of people, access to cash flowing businesses, which you don't want to become like Gabrielle Union. You don't want to become a trick. I'm not calling Gabby a trick. I'm just saying trick overall. I wanted to leave that with you, ladies. Be prepared because as you're making moves, people are going to be watching you. Men are going to look at you and to you as a resource. Participate in the great wealth transfer, but if you're going to partner up with somebody, if you're going to get married, if you're going to have children, make sure that he is at least as ambitious if you are, if not more ambitious. And I prefer more ambitious with regards to the great wealth transfer, what's going to happen, and how you are going to position yourself and your nepo babies. That was the last thing I wanted to leave you with. That was the last thing on my notes. I'm going to check your comments here. But I bet a community of Black women will come together. Yeah, we absolutely can. It won't be everybody, though. It won't be everybody. I had the epiphany that, hey, if we could get 5,000 strong collective Black women as part of this ecosystem, we could do some amazing things. We could internally raise the money needed in order to buy these businesses. We could raise millions of dollars. There's something called Regulation CF. It stands for crowdfunding, where you're able to raise $5 million. We could raise money in order to buy these businesses, and we don't even need the bank in order to do it. We can work together in order to do due diligence on these companies, in order to grow these companies, because once we get our hands on these companies, if the company today is doing, I don't know, $3 million, working together, Dawn, we could take that money, we could take that company to $30 million. And it won't take a lot of us in order to be able to do it. You're asking me advice for the Great Wealth Transfer for an introverted Gen Z who is 21 in Canada, currently going into my second year in university. How do I position myself? Great question. I know you're introverted, but you will have to talk to some people. So the best way to do it is talk to another introverted person, maybe who's kind of nerdy. I don't know if you're nerdy. You didn't say you are, but you want to see if you are able to become friends with some of the tech people who are nerdy, who like to build things, etc. And you also want to become friends with the richest, the richest people that you possibly can, who are also kind of extroverted. So you may say, well, how do I get to know them? Um, um, if there's a sorority you can join, that's a great way to do it. If there's any kind of, what do you call it? Not like a Habitat for Humanity, but those types of organizations where you're going out and doing community service. That's what I meant to say. Any kind of community service organizations that you can join, that's a great way for you to kind of have one-on-one conversations. If you're an introvert, you probably don't want to be in front of a lot of people, but I'm hoping that one-on-one you are able to connect with people. So I would find ways of one on one connecting with people. Get into study groups with, again, the smartest people that you possibly can. If anybody has any other suggestions for Ayokat, I hope I'm saying your name right, definitely put them in the chat for her. But those would be my suggestions is join study groups and get to know those people. Be strategic about who's in your study group. Consider joining a sorority. Consider joining some community service organizations and just talking to people one-on-one, studying either on YouTube or through a book, how to like have small talk with people and get to know people and, proceed from there. I want to buy a few houses for co-living. You can absolutely do that. You're saying here, nope, get off of my back. Yes, very true, embarrassing, and good luck ain't getting a penny out of me. Rose, I know nobody's getting anything out of you. Okay, and you're saying thank you. Okay, you're welcome. I hope that helped. I really do. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoy your Friday. I'll see you on Sunday. If you are coming to the Level Up using LinkedIn session, bwmakingmoney.com if you are not on my email list. If you're not on my email list, we're having a session on leveling up using LinkedIn. We're having a session on grants. We're having a session on building our $100 million offers. That's going to be in June. We have a lot of stuff happening, not on YouTube, but behind the scenes. But you gotta be on the email list. bwmakingmoney.com. Thank you, ladies. Have a great Friday. Take care. Bye.